Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Now
Good
replace.
afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, so listen carefully. So this class is assigned for history. Okay, and we already started the discussion of chapter number 1. Discussed about Frederick Soddy's concept of republican and democratic countries, national states. Okay, and it just started the French Revolution and how French Revolution influenced the nationalist movement in a different part of Europe. Right? Clear? Is that correct, Ms. Minha Salim? Minha.
Sir,
Okay. So please take your textbook. So first page. Okay, we completed that. Okay. The French Revolution and the idea of the nation. The French Revolution and the idea of nation. That's what the topic we just started. Okay. Clear? Okay. The first clear expression of nationalism came with the French Revolution in 1789. Okay. Please check in your notes also. As you would remember, we full-fledged territorial was a full-fledged territorial state in 1789 under the rule of an absolute monarch. The political and constitutional changes that came in the wake of French Revolution led to the transfer of sovereignty from the monarchy to the body's French citizen. The revolution proclaimed that it was the people who would henceforth constitute the nation and shape its destiny. Right? So what we discussed? As per the records or historical records that says that the French Revolution in the year 1789, at that particular year, what happened there? People revolted or protested against the monarchy in France, okay, and the power, sovereignty that shifted from the monarchy or the monarch to the body of French citizens. Okay, French citizens, which means a new democratically elected government came into existence in France, right? Are you agreeing with that? A newly elected democratic government, government. I know that it is a history and the time is almost 3 o'clock, okay? And obviously you will sleep, okay? Almost all people are drowsy. But just listen here carefully. This chapter is very much important for the examination and all the points too. Okay, so just mark that. So please check in your notes. Okay, all these points are there or not. If it is not so, intimate me. Okay, so moving forward. From the very beginning, the French revolutionaries introduced various measures and practices that could create a sense of collective identity among the French people. What are the two methods? Okay. So we studied that at the time of Indian national movement, the leaders, they used different techniques to unite the people or to create a collective responsibility, a sense of collective belonging, right? Okay. Then two techniques that used by the French people. What are they? What are they? Just read from the textbook. Sania, tell me. Sania, Jinu, what are they?
it was considered as a mission and destiny to liberate the people by introducing a French flag idea of La Patrie, which means
La Patrie and Le Citoyen, right?
fatherland.
Okay, fatherland and the citizen. Fatherland and the citizen. Okay, this is that. Just mark that. The idea of La Patrie and Le Citoyen, the citizen, emphasize the notion of united community enjoying equal rights under a constitution. So, as per this idea, okay, they give importance for a particular country where all the people are equal. There is no distinction. There is no differences between the people. All are equal. All are equal. And at the same time, they introduced a new French flag. The tricolor one was chosen to replace the former royal standard. The State General was elected by the body of active citizens and renamed the National Assembly. They designed a new French flag, the tricolor flag. Okay, and they changed all the things used by the monarch to show the French nation. The French nation or represent French nation. Instead of that, they designed a new tricolor flag. Okay, and election process also changed. Okay, so before that, a state generals, we know that. We studied last year in the French Revolution. What is that? There are three estates, clergy, nobility, and the third estate. Clear? The powers of these estate generals are different. Powers are different. Clear? Is that clear or not? Okay, powers of these States Generals are different. But now what happened? Huh? The new government made a change. Elected state generals. Only the active citizen has the power to choose the state generals. Okay, a new change. A new change. Okay. New hands were composed. Okay. New slogans like liberty, equality, and fraternity. Oaths taken and matters commemorated. Oaths. Okay. They swear that they will work for the development of the country. And the people, those who died in the French Revolution, were commemorated. Okay. They pay homage for these people, those who died in the French Revolution. All the name of the nation. All in the name of the nation. Clear? Who become martyr? Okay, the people, those who died in the French Revolution were commemorated all in the name of the nation. Okay, the French nation. A centralized administrative system was put in place and it formulated uniform laws for all citizens within the territory. So, a centralized administrative system and a new constitution and the rule of the law, all are equal before the law. That's what the new changes that made by the new government. Internal custom duties and dues were abolished and the uniform system of weights and measures was adopted. Regional dialects were discouraged and French as it's spoken and written in Paris became the common language of the nation. Clear? So weights and measures are unified. Please check in the note there. That's the last point, right? Weights and measures are unified by the government. And all the regional languages were abolished, or they did not give any importance for regional dialects, regional languages. Instead of that, they accepted French as their national language. Basically, that used by the people in Paris, capital of France, right? Yes or no? What is the specialty of Paris? What is the notable structure there in Paris?
Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower. Very good. Okay, the Eiffel Tower. Who created that? Who constructed that? Who the engineer behind that? No idea. No idea. Okay. It is, find it out for tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So if I say that answer, you will listen it and you will leave that. If you find so, it will helpful for you people. Okay, you will remember that. Clear? Okay, try to find out that the person or the engineer of the Eiffel Tower. Okay? Okay, let it be. So come back. So these are all general knowledge questions that are helpful for today or tomorrow. Okay, next paragraph. The revolutionary further declared that it was the mission and the destiny of the French nation to liberate the people of Europe from despotism. Here despotism means the rule of a king or a queen there, right? Or a monarchy. In other words, to help the other people of Europe to become nations. So, we know that France become a democratic country, okay, to turn to a democratic country after a revolution, clear? A bloodshed, understand? So, the people or the leaders, those who participated in that bloody revolution, okay, they thought about it is their responsibility to liberate other countries in Europe, So the revolutionaries, they started spreading these ideas of French Revolution to other countries in Europe. Clear? So revolutionary means the leaders of a revolutionary movement in France in the year 1789. Clear? Got or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, come back. So, when the news of the events of France reached different cities of Europe, students and other members of the educated middle class began setting up Jacobin clubs. So, the news of the French Revolution, and the new democratically elected government, they spread in different cities of Europe. Okay. So, in those cities, the news of French Revolution that spread in different part of the Europe, or basically the European cities, or different European cities. So what happened? Almost all these people in the European cities, basically educated people, the middle class people, the students, okay, they started a number of campaigns and they started setting up Jacobin clubs. Underline that? Jacobin clubs. What do you mean Jacobin clubs? Jacobin clubs. The club of thinkers. Anybody? Jacobin club.
Sir, they will wear one wig band and
wig with the band on the head now.
They will put wig in the
Wig. Okay, that's a caricature, right? Okay, Jacobin clubs is nothing but, okay, it's a club of thinkers, we say. Club of thinkers, philosophers they are, okay. And they will think something for the development of the society, clear. And they are totally against the monarch. And they are against despotism. Okay, what is that? Despotism. Okay, the rule of a king or a queen with their military is termed as despotism. Okay, clear or not? Okay, so this club of thinkers or the members of the Jacobin clubs, they are against despotism and the rule of monarch, rule of the monarch. Just understand that. Just give me 1 minute. So they are the Jacobin clubs are termed as the club of thinkers, club of thinkers. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here, the Jacobin clubs, their activities and campaigns prepared the way for the French armies, which moved into Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, and much of Italy in 1790s. With the outbreak of the revolutionary wars, the French armies began to carry the idea of nationalism in abroad. Okay, so their activity, the members of the Jacobin clubs, their activities and campaigns prepared the way for the French armies. Okay, so basically, the people or the students or the newly middle class people in different countries, they formed these Jacobin clubs to support the French army towards Holland, their movement towards Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, and much of Italy in the year 1790s. Basically, these newly formed Jacobin clubs helped the French army to move towards these countries and spread the idea of nationalism. With the outbreak of the revolutionary wars, the French armies began to carry the idea of nationalism abroad. So, the French armies, they carried the idea of nationalism of France towards number of countries like Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, and Italy. Clear? Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
So after what we can say, the revolutionary outbreak in France, the French army started to invade a number of other countries, and at the same time they spread the idea of nationalism in those countries. Idea of nationalism. Clear? Okay, so moving forward, we can see the map. Okay, this is France. So Switzerland. This is Italy. Okay, Kingdom of Two Sicilies. You can see it's going to be Italy now. Okay, so the French army moved to all these areas and made these areas under their control. Okay, within the widest swath of the territory that came under his control, Napoleon set about introducing many of the reforms that he had already introduced in France. Okay, now it is the important question for us, the Napoleonic Code. The Napoleonic Code of 1804. So that time, Napoleon became very powerful in France, and all the administrative powers came to his own hands. Okay, so what happened here? Napoleon set about introducing many of the reforms that he had already introduced in France. Okay, so from 1804, he made a number of changes in the French administration. Okay, through a return of monarchy, Napoleon had no doubt destroyed democracy in France. But in the administrative field, he had incorporated revolutionary principles in order to make the whole system more rational and effective. Clear? Okay. So, democracy is destructed in France in almost in the year 1804. But Napoleon Bonaparte, he made a number of changes in the whole system. Okay. The administrative system. What is that? His changes are basically termed as rational and efficient. Rational and efficient. What do you mean by the term rational and efficient? Rational and efficient.
So efficient means more amount of that.
Huh?
Efficient means more amount of thing.
More amount of what?
Yeah.
Rational in the sense, okay, it is not related with God or what we can say, social evils or something like that. Okay, rational, something that related with the sense. Clear or not? Okay, rational and what is the next word?
Efficient.
Hmm?
Efficient.
Efficient. Okay, it will function properly without any error. Clear. So rational in the sense, what is that? Scientific method. Scientific method, and those methods are, what is that? What kind of methods are there? It is efficient. It is scientific and efficient. That's what. Okay, so the systems that introduced by Napoleon Bonaparte, okay, it is rational and efficient, and it made the entire system more rational. Okay, the Civil Code of 1804, underline, usually known as the Napoleonic Code, did away with all privileges based on birth. Okay, so he made a code, the Napoleonic Code, that wiped away all the privileges that enjoyed by the people by birth. Clear? Clear. So basically the people in the clergy and nobility, they enjoyed a number of or numerous privileges because of their clan. Okay, clear or not? By birth they are able to enjoy all these benefits, all these privileges, but Napoleon stopped all these privileges based on births. Okay, and he established equality before the law and, equality before law and secured the right to property. Clear? So here we know that privileges by birth in the sense, what is that? Huh? What is that? Father, king, son, king, right? Grandchild, he also a king, right? No need of election. Clear? By birth, these people are enjoying these privileges. Clear? Father, son, and grandchild, all are kings. There is no provision to choose or elect. Okay. By birth, they are enjoying these privileges. So Napoleon changed that. Okay. He established equality before law and secured the right to property. So before Napoleonic Code, only the rich people, only the landlord have the power to purchase land. They only have the power to purchase land and keep it up. But Napoleon made a change. Those who has money or have money, they can purchase land. This code was exported to the regions under the French control. Okay, so the code, the changes that made by Napoleon, administrative changes that made by Napoleon is known as the Civil Code of 1804 and the Napoleonic Code. That code was exported to other countries also, or under the French control. So the people in the Dutch, the people in Switzerland, Italy and Germany, okay, everyone started accepting the changes that made by Napoleon. Napoleon simplified the administrative divisions. Okay, okay, there are questions and his answer will start from here. Okay, what is that? Write a short note on the Napoleonic Code. Answer is starting from here. Civil Code of 1804. Sorry, not here. Okay, from here. Okay, so mark that. So Napoleon simplified administrative division. Napoleon simplified administrative division about the feudal system, abolished the feudal system. I already told you that the feudal system, what is that? Clergy, nobility, and the third estate. Okay, clergy, nobility, and the third estate. A triangular structure. Okay, you studied in the last year. Just to understand that, just try to memorize that. Okay, the triangular structure. The top it is clergy, just below that is nobility, and the third estate. Third estate. So Napoleon wiped away that system. Which system? The feudal system. Okay, the division of the society on the basis of what you can say? Their social status. It is termed as the feudal system. Feudal system, clergy, nobility, and the third estate. Okay, so Napoleon wiped away that system. Feudal system and freed peasants from the serfdom and the manorial dues. Okay, clear? So number of peasants, workers from the third estate, basically they worked in the estates of the landlords or the nobility or the nobles. Okay, clear or not? And Napoleon freed them. Napoleon freed them. Okay, why these peasants are working in the land of these landlords? Because maybe they borrowed money from the landlord, or forcefully the landlord is making them to work in the estates there. Okay, so that is termed as serfdom. Serfdom means Underline that. Write down the meaning of the term serfdom. What is that? Doing physical job without any payment. That is what serfdom. And the manorial dues means the farmers want to pay huge taxes. That taxes is termed as manorial dues. Okay, so he freed the peasants from serfdom and manorial dues. Who freed them? Who freed? Who freed the people from the serfdom and manorial dues?
Napoleon.
Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, correct. In the towns too, guild restrictions were removed. What do you mean by guild restrictions? I told this question is very important, so learn that well. Guild restrictions means at that time, okay, 18th and 19th centuries. Okay. What?
They will take workers for not giving salary. They will not give money.
That is serfdom. Serfdom. Okay. I am asking about guild restriction. So that time there were a number of guilds. Guild means a particular group of people. A group of people, they are doing a particular trade. Okay. They might be artisans or businessmen, right? What do you mean artisans? Artisans. Artisans. They are doing a special task. Example, what you can say, goldsmith. Clear? They are making ornament. Clear or not? Blacksmith. Making tools or weapons with iron. Clear or not? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, like that various type of people are there. They are doing a particular trade. Okay, or carpenters. So they will not allow others to do the same job. Clear? These guilds, this group of people, they are doing a particular trade. They will not allow others or other people to do their activity, to do their trade or business. They will not allow. This time have the guild restrictions because the government guaranteed, okay, or government allowed this guild to do that task or do that activity, and the guild have the power to stop others from doing that. Clear? Clear? That is termed as guild restrictions. But what Napoleon did here, Napoleon abolished the guild restrictions and allowed everybody to do different trades as per their wish. Clear? Clear? So in before 2 to 3 centuries, okay, example, not 2 to 3 centuries, you can say in the 20th century in India, okay, there is guild restriction existed. Caste-based jobs are there. Okay, one caste will do only that job. Clear? Different caste, different jobs. Other caste groups will not do the job that doing by the some other caste there. So one caste will not do the job that doing by some other caste. So caste-based distinction or what you can say, separation of jobs. Clear or not? Some castes are there, they will only do the cleaning job. Some castes are there, they only do agricultural activity. Some castes, they are traders. Okay, you studied about the Varna system, right? Clear? Like that, it was existed in France also. But Napoleon wiped away or stopped or banned these guild restrictions and allowed everybody to do that. So in India today we know that everyone, okay, they are free to do any job, clear or not? Huh? There is no restrictions. We are free to do any job as per our wish. Clear? But within the framework of the constitution. Within the framework of the constitution means smuggling. Is that a job? Huh? Robbery. Is that a job? But you are able to earn money, right? And the narcotics is a dirty business, right? Okay, that all out of the constitution, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So it is not permissible, no permission for such kind of jobs or such kind of activities to earn money. Clear? So that's what Napoleon restricted the guild restrictions were removed. Transport and communication system were improved. Under Napoleon, what happened? Transport and communication system improved. Peasants, artisans, workers, and new businessmen enjoyed a newfound freedom. Okay, so all the people, they started enjoying newfound freedom, new freedom for them. So Napoleon made a number of changes. So people are free here. Businessmen and small-scale producers of goods and in particular began to realize that uniform laws, standardized weights and measures, and a common national currency would facilitate the movement of exchange of goods and capital from one region to another. Okay, up to here. You can write that answer, right? The administrative changes that made by Napoleon, commonly known as the Napoleonic Code of 1804, okay, or the Civil Code of 1804. Clear? Clear? And the traders and the businessmen, they believed that some more changes necessary. What kind of changes? Okay, realize that uniform laws necessary. Okay, rules and regulations. Standardized weights and measures. Okay, clear? Uniform weights and measures. Common national currency. At that time, in the areas under the French control, they used different currencies, but now they demand a common currency. Okay, that all helpful for the development of trade. Okay, and basically the movement of exchange of goods and capital from one region to another. One region to another. Okay, clear? So you can write up to here. Some points I will tell you later. Okay, so next topic here.